share with you how delighted I am to be back to Chennai. So thank you very much. It's been a real delight. I've been missing the warmth of all my brothers and sisters. I mean, I've never been out of Chennai for such a long time. And so it feels really, really good to come back. But let me tell you that the UEF has not been out of my mind even for a single day in the last 20 months that I've been away. That almost every day, I might even say even every few hours in a day, my mind was continuously thinking about, many of our directors you may have been seeing the messages I've been sending, whether it's from the underground or whether it's wherever it is I've been traveling or anywhere I have been. The UEF has been really very, very, on top of my mind, to say the least. So I've been sort of doing some soul searching in the last 20 months because I was a little away in Singapore and it's relatively quiet. And finally, I think I've come to the realization as to what my real work is. Of course, maybe you all know the professional activities that I do. We are into power generation and things like that. So that is my work. But what is my real work? And I've come to that conclusion that my real work is the work that I do in the United Economic Forum. Because what is the use of normal work that one does if that work does not contribute towards society? So the real work is the work that I do, and I'm sure all of you do at the UEF. The other work, our real estate or power generation or other things, is just a means to get towards our real work. And this has given me so much of, what shall I say, confidence that whatever we are doing is for the larger benefit of society. Maybe you would have, many of you know, the power sector, the business that I operate has been a very, very, very challenging sector. So we have been fighting it for the last, 10 years. We've been battling what we do in the power generation business. And what gives us the energy to keep fighting is that there is the community, there is UEF that we have to, people like us have to eventually support. So it gives a lot of energy to fight the problems that we have. Because what we are doing at work, even though there are problems, inshallah, once we solve it, we go towards a much larger cause, which is what the UEF is all about. I'm sure all of you will agree. And I was reading an article, this book, Good to Great, by Jim Collins. I don't know if you have read it. Somewhere in the book says, this is called logotherapy. There is a concept called logotherapy. It is by a Nobel laureate, Dr. Viktor Frankl, and he has written a whole theory about it. He says that he is a survivor of the Holocaust. He is a Jew. He was stuck in the concentration camps, and they were going to put him in the chambers. So what was his motivation? To survive the concentration camp. And finally he comes up and says that it is the purpose in life that really helped me to come out of the concentration camp. So it is called logotherapy, and he says as long as we have purpose, and we have a very large purpose, we can withstand pressure, we can go through problems, because finally, you're able to have a much larger purpose than what we are at that point of time. So for me, the UEF has been logotherapy. Please do a Google and find out about logotherapy. And I'm sure it applies to each and every one of us. It's not just me. I know we are all going through a downturn and market conditions are poor and growth rates are low. But since we have this big purpose in front of us, which is obviously the UEF, hopefully all of us will muster enough courage, strength, to be able to fight and become stronger than ever before. So this is logotherapy. So once again, the people Welcome all of you to this AGM. It's wonderful to see all of you. Like Habib Bhai was saying, inshallah, by November 2020, we'll have our next trade summit. We are, we are all very much looking forward to it. So anyway, I know I've been sharing this with you all many times. Just at the cost of repetition, let me just highlight what we are trying to do at the UEF. Just the vision first, right? Nothing much has changed. We have made some minor tweaks to the vision to emerge as a premier forum for enabling the backward community and society at large to become inspirational and formidable contributors to the nation and beyond through economic enhancement, education and social development. Let me read it once again. To emerge as a premier forum for enabling the backward community and society at large to become inspirational and formidable contributors to the nation and beyond through economic enhancement, education and social development. So this continues to be our vision for the UEF. Of course, we want to make sure that the UEF contributes not just to our community but society at large. And also that we are able to contribute not only for India but also globally. So this is the aspiration. How do we want to do it? We want to be a catalyst. We need to bring on board 1,500 members. I think right now we are about 350 to 400 members is the numbers that we have. We want to provide entrepreneurial support and basically we want to facilitate economic growth is what we want to do. And our values, I think we've discussed in the past. I really think that our biggest capital, time and again we keep discussing about, people keep saying there is a shortage of capital, there is a lot of opportunity but there is no money. It's a usual problem that entrepreneurs face. I'm sure all of you will agree that we keep talking about lack of capital, lack of resources. But I really think it is not the lack of capital which restricts us from doing things, but many times lack of vision, lack of perseverance, lack of passion, and a very important item I think is integrity. The more we are able to build on the integrity part of it, the more credible we are, the more passionate we are, the more persistent we are, the more passionate, persistent, with integrity, we will be able to mobilize whatever desired capital there is. So it's a very, very important aspect. So integrity is obviously very, very, very important. The higher the integrity, I'm sure there will be more stakeholders willing to support us for whatever it is that we want to do. So these are the values, I'm sure, and many of these values are, the Prophet's way, our Islamic way of doing things. So that's basically what we're saying. It is also what all the major religions say. So we just have to follow it. I feel, all of us have to be able to follow it. So these are the values. So what are we trying to do, right? Everybody keeps asking, how do we go about this? We've got a vision, we want to do. We have tried to capture these things in 4 simple words. First, we need to be an inspiration. We need to inspire people. We need to connect with people. We need to engage with people. And we need to deliver the results. So what are we trying to say? First and foremost, why should people come to the UEF? Why? Everybody asks, what is the reason? Why should I come to the UEF? And time and again, when we have membership meetings and when we go to committees, whatever, people say, why should I come? So they will come, members will come in if they are inspired with what we want to do. So we need to be able to inspire. UEF has to be able to inspire people to come in. So UEF needs to have an inspirational target. Once people are inspired, which is what we have when we do our trade summit, for example, when we have veteran people coming from around the world, it's hopefully an inspiration for others to join. Then we have to connect with them. We need to start interacting, we need to start having meetings, we have to come for different activities. Then we need to engage, we need to talk more closely, and finally, we should be able to deliver some results. So we have just captured some of the items, which is, for example, the trade summit, the sessions we have had, meetings we have had, and for example, the last one is the Queen's Digital event. I see Dr. Maluk was here, and delivering on some results. So this is a small methodology as to how we want to go about it. So, what is our strategy? How are we going to go about it? What are we going to do? First and foremost, do we want to be real hardcore contributors or not? This is a question I think we have to ask all of us, right? How much do we want to do? What do we want to do? Where do we want to do it? It's really up to us, right? Nobody is forcing us to do anything, right? Who's forcing us? It is our own aspiration. It is what we want to do. So, if we are going to do something interesting, why not have a mega vision? And I think Dr. Kamal Sharif was kind enough to send me a note recently saying that it is not because of lack of opportunities that a community lags behind, but because of lack of vision. Right? It's lack of vision. Many times you will see it's a lack of vision which restricts, because we don't know where we want to go. If you don't know where you want to go, how can you go there? I want to go from Chennai to Calcutta. I want to go from Chennai to Delhi. I want to go to New York. I want to go to LA. There has to be a destination, right? If there is no destination, we don't know where we are heading. So very, very important to have a proper vision. So, and you talk to any of the management consultants, companies. We've got a veteran consultant here, Vikas is here from PwC. So this vision is always talked about. I think many of you know I live in Singapore. Singapore thinks in terms of 80 to 100 years. They are planning now for 2100. They are planning this for 2100. Who is going to be around for 2100? None of us are going to be around, I'm sure. That we're not going to be around. Maybe somebody. Will you be around? I don't think so, unless we have some newborn babies here. So they are planning for 80 years, they are planning for 100 years. And whatever is happening in Singapore today was planned 30 years back, 40 years back, 50 years back. They know 30 years ago as to where they're going to be. This is where the metro station is going to come. This is where the airport is going to come. This is where we're going to have the high-rise buildings. This is where the housing is going to come. You will be amazed how clear they are in terms of their strategy. And our Prime Minister, Modi, loves Singapore. He's been there 3 or 4 times. He just lands up there, One day when Lee Kuan Yew passed away, he was there. Next thing you know, he's there. Then again he comes later. Singapore is a dot in the map of the world. It's like Chennai City, 5 million people. But Prime Minister of India makes it a point to come and visit her. Why? Because the city is so visionary. They think of so many things ahead. They think of, all these things. So he's told the government that we need to be inspired by Singapore. And I was in New York 6-8 months ago.